Welcome to another video on C programming video series. In this video, we will learn more about displaying text on the screen. So in the previous video, we have written our very first C program, and in that program, we have used the printf function to display the text hello world on the screen. Here, this printf is the function which does the work of displaying the text on the screen. All we have to do is we have to provide what text we want to display on the screen. Here we have provided hello world. Now for this printf function to work, we have to provide the text that we want to display on the screen between the double quotes. In C language, when we have the alphabets or numbers or symbols or a combination of these things between the double quotes, we call them as strings. We will learn more about the strings in the upcoming videos. And here the text, it can be a combination of alphabets, numbers, or symbols. For example, here, instead of this hello world, we can display only a space like this. This is also valid. If I save this program and if I run this, now here we don't see these spaces, and that's why we don't see anything here in the output window. But if I add something in the end, for example, let us say ABCDE, and save the program and run it. Now this time we can see ABCDE, and before that there are spaces which are invisible characters. Now here we can provide the numbers also. For example, it can be ABCD 1 2 3, save the program and then run it. We will get the same thing. And we can have the symbols also. For example, we can say hash, at, not, or plus, minus, etc. And if I save this and run the program, that is displayed on the screen just like the way we have provided the values here. Now let us display a meaningful sentence here. I'm gonna say my name is Anil and I am 34 years old. Now if I save this program and run this, nothing special, we will get the same text displayed on the screen as the output. Now what if I want to display the name in single quotes? What we can do, we can add the single quotes here for this name. Now if I save this and if I run this, we can see the name is between the single quotes. Now what if we want to display them between the double quotes? Okay, let's change this one to double quotes. And now when I did that, we can see the color changing in here. We can see some, the red line here. Now what is happening? Now if I save this program and run this, now we can see that this program cannot be compiled. We have some problem here. What is the problem here? If you remember, I said that for this printf function to work, we have to provide the text that we want to display between the double quotes. Here, this double quote says that this is the beginning of the text that we want to display on the screen, and this double quote here means that this is the end of the string that we want to display on the screen. And then we have these values. Printf doesn't take the value to be displayed on the screen like this. So it is generating the error. So now how we can display my name between the double quotes? In order to display my name between the double quotes, what we have to do is we have to escape the meaning of this double quote here. We are saying that this double quote here doesn't mean that this is the end of the text that we want to display on the screen. It is just a double quote. In order to do that, we use a character called as escape character, which is nothing but this backslash. So here we will add this backslash. Now again, after my name, we have the same problem. C thinks that, okay, this is the end of the text that we want to display on the screen now. Again, we have to escape the meaning of this double quote. And that's why we will use this backslash again, which is the escape character. Now, if I save this program and if I run this now you guys can see we get my name is Anil and it is between the double quotes and I am 34 years old. Now this problem is appearing here because the string values are denoted by using the double quotes in C programming language. And when we have the quotes appear inside the string values, we have this problem. But by using this escape character, we can avoid this problem. Now the next thing is we can have multiple printf statements in our program. So here what we can do, in the next line we can have another printf statement, something like this. And in this printf we can display something else. For example, I make YouTube videos. Okay, now if I save this program and if I run this, what happens? My name is Anil and I'm 34 years old. I make YouTube videos. If you see this, I make YouTube videos is appearing in the same line as if it is part of the previous text. So that is one thing that we can notice here. Now, in order to separate this, we can add a full stop in here, and then before this we can add a space here. Now if I save this and if I run this, what happens? At least it looks normal. So they are separated by a space. But here, remember, we are adding this space manually. Here in this program, we have the text, which is my name is Anil and I'm 34 years old, in one line, and then I make YouTube videos on separate line. But when we run this program, we are displaying them in the same line. Why it is not going to the next line and displaying like that? That is because here we are not saying that after displaying these values or this text on the screen, go to the next line and display the remaining text. We are not saying that, and that's why C is displaying everything on the same line. So how we can tell C to go to the next line and display the remaining text in a separate line? To do that, we use something called as escape sequences. These escape sequences are the special character combinations which have specific meaning, and they begin with the backslash symbol. Now here, what if I want to say that after displaying this text in a line, go to the next line to print remaining text? To do that, we can use an escape sequence. And here we will use the escape sequence /n, which is the character combination for new line. So when we use this /n escape sequence here, it means that, okay, after displaying this much text, it tells the printf statement to insert a new line, which is nothing but if you have a text file, for example, this is some sample text. Now, if I want to go to the next line, what I do? I press the enter key in my keyboard. So now we go to the next line, and here I can have some text here. So now what happened? When I press the enter key here, it is inserting a new line. The same thing is happening here. When we have this /n escape sequence, it inserts a new line. So from this point onwards, whatever we display, it will appear in the next line. Now I'm going to save this program and I'm going to run this. And now you guys can see my name is Anil and I'm 34 years old. I make YouTube videos. Now the second printf statement is appearing in the next line. Now the interesting part is we can use these escape sequences wherever we want within the string. For example, here after displaying my name is Anil, I can add /n here like this. Now if I save this program and if I run this, you guys can see my name is Anil. It is appearing in one line. Then the remaining text is appearing in the next line. So this much text, and then again we are inserting a new line. So we are going to the next line to display the remaining text. We can use them however we want and we can format the text. So for example, here what we can do is we can have a printf statement, and in this printf we will have a star, and then I will insert the new line like this. And then what I do is I will copy this and paste it in a separate line. After the star, I will add a space, then I will add another star. Now again I will copy this and paste it in here. Now after this, I will add a space, another star, and then paste it, space star, space star. Okay. Now what happens if I save this program and if I run this? You see this? We are displaying the stars in the right angle triangle pattern. So, you can do so many things with this. This is just an example. Now let us have one printf statement in here, and we will say hello from learning lad. Now there are many other escape sequence characters available in C programming language apart from /n. /n inserts a new line. Similar to that, we have /b, just like if we have a text here, so some text here. Now if I want to come back to one step before, what I have to do, I have to press the left arrow here. So I'm just coming one character before. This effect can be achieved by using /b. So now after adding the /b, what I will do is I will add a space, and if I run the program, we can see that hello from learning LA, and then this D is not there. Why? What happened here? So I will copy this, okay, in order to explain this. So we had the text hello from learning lad, and then we have this / escape sequence character. It means that okay, go one character before, so the cursor will come to D here, just like this, and then we have a space here. So a space has to be displayed from this point, so it will overwrite the next character. So it will be like this, and that's why we get the output hello from learning LA. Okay. Now again, we can use this in many different ways, and we can display text however we want. For example, we can have /b like this. So it will, every combination of this /b, that is the backspace escape sequence character, will take the cursor one step backwards. So now if I save this and if I run this, we're gonna get learning lad. So G has been replaced by this space here. For example, just to demonstrate this, instead of this space, I will have @. I will save this and I will run this. Instead of G, we will get the @ symbol here. Okay. Now we know that when we use this /b escape sequence character, the cursor comes one step before. What if we want to come to the beginning of the line? For that, we have /r. When we have this /r, the cursor will come to the beginning. For example, we have the text hello from learning lad, and then if we have the /r, it will come to the beginning, just like this. Now after that, if you print something, it will start overwriting from here. So just to demonstrate that, when we have this /r here, first it will display hello from learning lad, and then it will come to the beginning location, and then it will start displaying whatever the characters we provide. For example, this time I'm gonna say Z here, only Z. Now what happens if I save and run this? Can you guys guess? We will get Zello from learning lad. That is because when we have this /r, the cursor will come to the beginning location, and then it will start writing the remaining characters, which we have Z here. So this H is overwritten by this Z, and we get this output. For example, here I can have completely different character. For example, I can say I love making YouTube videos. Okay, now if I save this program and if I run this, now you guys can see I love making YouTube videos, but we don't see this hello from learning lad. What happened? We had this hello from learning lad, and then the /r escape sequence character. So the cursor came to the beginning, and then it started to write the remaining characters, which were these I love making YouTube videos. So when it starts to write those characters, what happens, it will overwrite these characters. So it will, appear like this. Now, in order to demonstrate that, what I do is I will have only YouTube here. Okay, after the /r. And if I save this and if I run this, now you guys can see YouTube ROM learning lad. So what happened? YouTube has replaced this hello space f. Now the last escape sequence character that we're gonna talk here is called as the tab, the escape sequence character for the tab. For example, you want to display the values by using the tabs. For example, I will say name and then age. So here I have only space. What if I want to separate them by tab? For that we use this /t escape sequence character. So now if I save this program and if I run this, we will get name and then a tab and then age. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this printf statement and I will have another, I will paste it, and this time I will provide a proper name. For example, I will say Anil /t34. Now I will save this and I will run this. Now what happens? We see name tab age, then Anil tab 34. This /t is working, but my intention is to display this Anil and 34 in the next line, and that's why after displaying this age, I can insert a new line character like this in this particular printf, and then I will save this program and I will run this. Now you can see name and age, Anil, age is 34. Now I can have this /n here in the first printf statement, or I can have it in the beginning of the next printf statement. Okay, it will provide the same effect as you guys can see. Now what I can do, I can copy this printf and I can have it multiple times. For example, I can say Jojamma, I think she is 8 years old, and then we can have Kokura here, and he is I think 3 years old. Okay, now we will save this program and we will run this. Now we can see all these things are appearing properly like this. So this is it guys for this particular video. Thank you for watching. If you like the content, hit the like button. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button. If you have anything to say, write that in the comment box. For more tutorials, subscribe to the channel.